This is your captain speaking. Let's read.
Like and subscribe. It's kind of like voting for me for president.
Hello, darlings. Don't you just love a spontaneous getaway?
Why is storyteller talking like that?
It's her fancy travel voice.
I mean, who doesn't love room service and fancy treats and luxurious settings?
I love it.
Why will her voice go back to normal?
And you deserve the very best, my dearest. So I have booked us into the incredible hotel.
I'm packing my bag.
I don't know how to pack.
And by the looks of it, a 5-star meal awaits us. Let's go. And immediately, I can tell that we are met by a designer 500 million thread count rug. And by the looks of it, the incredible hotel does allow pets and puppets. Whew. And immediately, we are getting a behind-the-scenes view of the kitchen where something delicious is clearly getting whipped up, and there are jars of bonbons and love and a mouse pastry chef?
That's my cousin Dominique, living the dream.
If you ever go to the great city of Delaunay, take a left at the Duchess Palace and cross the Bridge of Spires. There you will find the incredible hotel. Ah, you couldn't ask for a more wonderful place to stay. Everything runs like clockwork. Look at the palatial architecture, the flowers, the topiaries. Ooh. Good question, Hootie. Topiaries are hedges and plants that are cut into fun shapes like teacups, ooh, and elephants, ooh, and hearts, ooh. It is fun. And speaking of everything running like clockwork, I think the star of our book is running on his way to work at the incredible hotel. Every morning at 5 a.m., meow. That is early. Stefan, the kitchen porter, brews the coffee, which wakes the chef who makes the breakfast to give to the butler. Good morning, Mr. Starch. This is your 6 a.m. wake-up call to take to the hotel manager. And yes, everyone looks groggy. I need my beauty sleep. No one wake me until 10 a.m. And then, every night at 11 p.m., as the hotel manager takes his bath, and the chef eats her dinner perfectly seasoned as usual, Stefan does the washing up and dreams of making cakes, while simultaneously giving Dominique, the pastry mouse, some great back scratches.
What did I tell you? Living the dream.
But kitchen porters aren't allowed to make cakes. Only chefs can do that. Instead, they fetch and carry and mop and chop and say, yes, chef, even when they want to say no. And they imagine exciting things happening.
Like winning the big trophy and the admiration of everybody.
But nothing exciting ever happened to Stefan. One winter morning, before the guests were awake, Mr. Starch called a meeting in the drawing room. Meeting in the drawing room, everyone. Is a drawing room where you draw your pictures? A drawing room is a fancy living room where you can entertain people, Dill. Oh! And there's going to be a big announcement. The incredible hotel is 100 years old this year, he said, and next week we will hold a grand ball to celebrate. The guest of honor will be the Duchess of Delaunay herself. Everyone gasp, 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 gasp. Why? The Duchess of Delaunay was extremely royal, extremely picky, and extremely good at shutting down hotels. So maybe this is not the best news? As you all know, said Mr. Starch once again, the Duchess is partial to profiteroles. Is a profiterole a roll of profit? It's a cream puff.
I want 100 of them!
Ooh! Chef Zagat, I would like you to create a profiterole tower for her. The tallest, creamiest, and most profiterole tower in history. Chef Zagat bowed low and said, I will get to work at once. All week long, the bakers baked and the cleaners cleaned and the waiters waited for the day of the ball. In the great kitchen, Chef Zagat practiced her profiterole tower. Stefan whipped the cream and made coffee after coffee to keep her awake.
Storyteller,
Yes, Green Bear, profiteroles can be drenched in chocolate.
this just keeps getting better and better!
But not for Chef Zagat, whose profiterole tower is clearly collapsing. Maybe if you use caramel to stick it together, suggested Stefan. Good idea. Don't tell me what to do, scoffed Chef Zagat. You're just a kitchen porter. In a very small voice, Stefan said, I'd like to be a chef one day. I've been practicing at home. And Chef Zagat laughed a horrible laugh. And it probably sounded something like, that's a pretty horrible laugh, right? Chef, you can't even make a decent cup of coffee. Oh, how dare she? Get out of my kitchen and don't come back. Well, that just tells me that she is closed off from learning anything from anybody, and that is not a good thing to be. I've known directors like that. I bet there's a story there. So, that evening, as the bellhop ironed her uniform and the manager made sure every key was positioned just so, and the busboy polished every button on his elevator, Stefan crept quietly away from the incredible hotel, watched only by a quiet fox and accompanied by Dominique, the pastry mouse. That night, he made a decent cup of coffee to prove that he could. And the tallest, creamiest, most profiterole tower in history. But he didn't have the heart to eat it.
I volunteer to help with that.
On the morning of the ball, without Stefan, things did not run like clockwork at the incredible hotel. No one brewed the coffee to wake the chef, so she didn't make the breakfast to give to the butler, to take to the hotel manager. See how one bad thing is leading to another bad thing? And we're not done. Oh no. No one took the bread from the oven or noticed that a fire had started in the kitchen. Until... Ding, 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 ding! The firefighters are here! Oh, my kitchen! Wailed the chef as the firefighters fought the flames. Oh, my recipe book! My profiterole tower! Help, Stefan! There isn't a moment to lose! But Stefan wasn't there. Because you kicked him out, chef. Let's refresh your memory with a slow-mo replay. Get out of my kitchen and don't come back! Remember? Upstairs in the great hall, the guests, the VIP guests were beginning to arrive. Oh, Your Highness, said Mr. Starch, not sounding nervous at all. I'm afraid we aren't quite ready for the ball. Can I give you a tour of the grounds? Yes. The hedges are very handsome at this time of year. Hedges? Huffed the Duchess. I was promised dancing. I was promised a profiterole tower, and I don't like to be kept waiting. And she travels with an entourage. Look at everyone she travels with, including kids, including a circus bear and a tuxedo monkey. Well, before Mr. Starch could stop her, she marched into the grand ballroom. Oh no! Why did the firefighters think she was on fire? The Duchess turned pink, then red, then an alarming shade of purple. Your hotel isn't incredible, it's terrible, she shrieked. I'm never coming back here again, and I'll make sure no one else does either. Oh no, remember how she has a reputation for shutting down hotels? It's about to happen to the Incredible Hotel. Oh, just wait till the newspapers hear about this. And she stormed to the door with her nose in the air.
Wave it round like I just don't care.
But then she stopped. Oh, and sniffed. She could smell something creamy, something chocolatey, something truly incredible. What? The Profiterole Tower! And this is mind-blowing. You're back! Cried Mr. Starch, probably super happy to see him and this whole thing that he brought. I saw the fire and I wanted to help, said Stefan, and Chef Zagat said nothing at all. The Duchess broke off a piece of the profiterole. Oh, she's already going for it. Okay, girl. She took a bite. She closed her eyes. And then... she smiled, her extremely royal smile. This is delicious, sublime. It's the most profiterole tower in history, she said. Did you make this incredible concoction? What is your name? Stefan was about to speak, but before he could, Mr. Starch stepped forward. Your Highness, I am proud to present Stefan, our kitchen porter. But Chef Zagat said, No, he is not our kitchen porter anymore. What is she about to say? Because we know she has a fiery temper. He's our pastry chef. That is, if he would like to be. Chef Zagat turned to Stefan. Forgive me for being so rude. I should never have sent you away. What do you say? Would you like the job? And Stefan said, Yes, please. And celebration breaks out in the land, and things are flying in the air, and the tuxedo monkey is dancing. And I so appreciate the chef's willingness to apologize and admit when she had it wrong and work to make it right. Yes! While the Duchess was enjoying her dessert, Chef Zagat and Stefan went down to the kitchen and cooked up pies and stews and soups and puddings. Everyone ate a back-to-front feast until they were almost too full to dance, but not quite. At the end of the night, Chef Zagat gave Stefan a chef's hat of his very own. He felt as tall as the Profiterole Tower, which I'm assuming is not as tall now once the Duchess got her hands on it. If you ever visit the Incredible Hotel, turn right at the hotel manager's office, take the elevator to the Great Kitchen, and that's where you'll find Stefan. He whips up soufflés and bakes bread and fills his famous profiteroles with cream, ching ching, and he still brews the coffee every morning. And they lived and they ate happily ever after.
I'm ready.
What did you pack?
This crown.
And you brought one sandal, Doug the Dinosaur?
I panicked.
Well, that's all right, darling.
Her travel voice is back.
It's all going to be incredible.